Guys, what's up? It's me, Marianne Lee with Fit Food and Art. Today is Talk Tuesday. I'm going to dedicate my Tuesdays to thought-provoking content such as do aliens exist, conspiracy theories, putting them to rest, provoking thought, maybe not putting one to rest, maybe trying to find the solution to that Rubik's Cube, things like that. So today I want to bring to you something that I was working on actually all summer, researching. I don't know if you guys know about it, but there's a strong man conspiracy theory. The strong man conspiracy theory, if you guys have ever paid attention, all your bills come to you in all cap locks letters, which means that's your strong man name, and you're given that also at birth with your social security number. Your social security card has all caps name, strong man name. And your social security card starts where your number is, it starts with a letter. Banking system, Federal Reserve banking system, that R represents an account number that is associated to an account number of the Federal Reserve banking system. Actually looked up my husband's, and his was in Chicago. And I pursued this for about a month consistently, wrote down a lot of research about it. Apparently some people are paying some bills with that, sending things off to the IRS, submitting things to the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, bills, getting them written off by using their strongman, because we're worth wealth, we're worth revenue, because we are working people here in the United States of America. So our social security numbers document like how much wealth we have by how much earnings that we have made through the Internal Revenue Service. And I researched it, seen some people writing remittances. That's basically like trying to get off write-offs with the CID department at the IRS Internal Revenue Service office. So I wrote down all this information, like all about it, watched this gentleman that was doing it, seeing the legalities that they had to go around it. Definitely have to use like a different form of language, like law, a lot of things to do with the law and legal. And then they tell you to file some documentation showing you're the full ownership of yourself, your own entity, a human being. When we're born, we're all individual entities, which entities are basically businesses as well, because they know that we are going to be put off into the workforce eventually, and then we're able to accumulate our wealth and worth about how much money that we earn. So we are actually at birth even worth money, because we are working enslavement country, the United States, because Europe basically owns the United States, and that's how our forefathers got over here, was through the financial ability and support. And they basically what am I trying to say, basically they invested in our forefathers to come over here, seek this land. You know, the genocide that was taking place over this country from the indigenous people. The indigenous people were the natural rightful owners of this land. And then we were all born into enslavement, and they had this wonderful idea to come up with money that was backed up by our gold. But now they're saying that we don't even have that good and gold, and it's not even in the Federal Reserve, that it's not even backed up by gold anymore. It's a lot of thought-provoking content, but I did a lot of research. I filed 2 documentations that costed me $40, submitted some remittances, which are debts that I was trying to offset, because they're saying that you could offset your debt because you're worth so much money, because when you were born you were sold to the Queen of England because she owns United States, and we're sold basically like cattle because we are worth it, because we are going to go into the workforce. So our hands are worth money because in our minds and our bodies, because we go into the workforce and we create this revenue, this whole financial institution. Like America's basically a big business. It's not even a country. It's just a big business. I mean, it is a country, but it's definitely a big enslavement business. So I did that, and I got back a letter 2 weeks ago from the IRS department. So I just wanted to put this at rest right now with where it's at. They gave me a warning not to submit any more frivolous. We have determined that the arguments you've raised are frivolous and have no bias in law. Federal courts have consistently ruled against such arguments and imposed significant fines for taking such frivolous positions. So I wanted to put that at rest because there's a lot of people on YouTube and on the internet saying they're getting bills written off by submitting this kind of documentation to the CID department at the Internal Revenue Treasury Office. And that's what they told me. And then they said you could use your social security number to pay bills. I wanted to put that at rest because I tried that and they got a payment of the amount was returned to Xcel Energy. So they got returned because they did not work. Maybe at one point in time this stuff worked, but right now with the status that it's at now, it's not working and it's not successful. That was another bill. I tried 2 different bills. And then there's still people on the internet saying that, well, you can't pay bills, but you could go on Amazon and you could order whatever you want on Amazon with that routing account number that's associated with your social security number, and then the checking account number is your social security number. Well, that didn't work either. I tried to order me some stuff and those all got sent back as well. So just wanted to put that back at rest. This is something that you were thinking about pursuing or just provoked thought. I wonder if anyone had any success. At this point in time, it is September 26th, 2017. It did not work for me. There's people even out there saying that they have some kind of system and documentation that they'll help people fill out the documentation and they charge $100 for it and that they've had success. Don't believe it unless you see the bill that it's written off. Unless they have the bill saying, hey, this company I owe $300 to, and right here they accepted my remittance and now I owe nothing. If they have that proof that that is actually getting written off, then go for it. But according to this, right now for me, I had no success, and it actually costed me a lot of time and a lot of, well, not a lot of money, but $40 worth of money to file documentation, legal documentation, establishing my own entity as myself and an individual human being, that I'm not just sold for cattle, that I have my own mind and I am my own entity and can make my own thoughts, because apparently, which will go down this rabbit hole, even darker rabbit hole, we'll go down it darker, and you could go on YouTube. Apparently when you are given your social security number, you are then sold and enslaved into the United States workforce system, and the Queen of England perhaps owns us all. Would make sense why she's so wealthy, right? So yeah, that is it. I wanted to put that to rest. Give me any other ideas that you would like to talk about. I actually want to talk about the Georgia Gaia stones next. The Georgia Gaia stones were put up in Georgia. They are on there kind of enforcing, and basically I would say that whoever allowed these stones to be put up, that they are flaunting it in humankind's face, and especially in Americans, because that's Georgia Gaia stones are in America. The population control and how they're going to keep up on that, and how what intentions they have for us and things like that. And according to my research recently, they actually put up security system around it because they were getting a lot of vandalism. So whoever put this up definitely wants that message to be there in front of our faces. Whether we pay attention to it or take it into any kind of consideration is up to each individual own individual, and I definitely want to kind of go more so deep into that little rabbit hole and see what we could find out. And obviously though, that someone's putting it up and they're allowing it, so it's definitely thought-provoking and it intrigues me. So we'll talk about that next Tuesday on Talks Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. If you liked this video, found it helpful, please give it a good thumbs up. Make sure to share this video too if it helps anyone, especially from eliminating time and wasting time and effort into this, because right now it's not successful. Then make sure to do that. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.